Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 13, text number 28. Na vidameha devanam elanam vayamanvapi yanna grananti bhagan swan ye devaha karma sakshina. Translation purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Dear King, we do not find any reason that the demigods should feel insulted or neglected in any way. But still the demigods who are witness for the sacrifice do not accept their shares. We do not know why this is so. Purport. It is indicated herein that if there is negligence on the part of the priest, the demigods do not accept their share in sacrifices. Similarly, in devotion service, there are offenses known as seva aparadha. Those who are engaged in worshipping the deity, Radha and Krishna, in the temple, should avoid such offenses in service. The offenses in service are described in the nectar of devotion. If you simply make a show of offering services to the deity but do not care for the seva aparadha, certainly the Radha Krishna deity will not accept offering from such non-devotees. Devotees engaged in temple worship should not therefore manufacture their own methods, but should strictly follow the regulated principles of cleanliness. Then offerings will be accepted. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. So there is a situation here where King Anga was extremely careful to the best of his ability to do everything properly as required for the performance of the sacrifice, like chanting the Vedic hymns properly through qualified brahmanas and priests, and then also arranging all the dravya, the ingredients for the yajna. And still, it is described here that the demigods were not accepting their share of the sacrifice. And this was concerning the brahmanas. And this discussion is going on. Naturally, the first thought that comes in their minds is expressed here. What is the first thought? Maybe there is some kind of insult or neglect of the demigods. That is why this is happening. So, Prabhupada in this purport, using this opportunity to explain that our deity worship also, or any worship, is also a sacrifice to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, in these sacrifices, in this worship, in this puja or yajna, where the recipient of our offering is Vishnu, then there is a possibility there also for offenses to be mixed along with the seva. And as we see in this verse, the basic root of offense is neglect, insult, disrespect, not giving due respect that is required for the personality who is being worshipped Because worship is only an expression of love, expression of devotion, expression of respect. To whom? To the object of worship. So worship has to go along with proper perception towards the object of worship. If in our mind, if we do not even have perception of the Savior whom you are serving, if you have no perception of His greatness, if you have no awareness of the purpose for worship, then our worship will be mechanical, ritualistic. So when we do something ritualistically, rituals are important, but rituals are backed by bhavana, devotion, sense of respect, even if it is demigods. Grossly, mechanically, offering something is out of duty or out of obligation is one thing. Another thing is respectfully offering the worship. So in Krishna consciousness also, when you worship, there are various kinds of aparadhas. As we said, aparadha, the root cause of aparadha is not giving the right kind of respect that is to be given to the object of worship. Rituals are performed by offering the bodily activities. You may offer on agarbatti, you may offer on lamp in your hands, gross agarbatti, gross lamp. Or even the whole body, physically paying dandavat, but not mentally, devotionally paying dandavats. So it is possible to become merely ritualistic. Now, ritualistic things, rituals themselves have so many restrictions. Because one will not have, just like in sadhana bhakti, we execute the instruction of the spiritual master, whether we have devotion or not. But we execute the instructions of the spiritual master with great respect for the spiritual master's instruction. That automatically becomes all aparadha free. Even though I don't know, I have no realization, Krishna is this deity, all that thing. But I have so much shraddha in my spiritual master. He has told you offer this, he will receive it. So either you have to have bhavana towards your spiritual master, anusarana bhavana, or go to the next level, which includes anusarana bhavana, is to offer proper bhavana to the object of worship. As Prabhupada is saying here, in our Vaishnava Sampradaya, there are various kinds of aparadhas. Inappropriate relationship or inappropriate neglect. One is neglect. Another is imagining something. That is also aparadha. You are imagining something which is not as per the Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. That is also causes aparadha. So seva aparadha is connected with, there is Vaishnava aparadha, there is Jiva aparadha, there is seva aparadha, there is nama aparadha. That means each of these things, like Prabhupada is explaining here, Radha Krishna deity, they are the incarnation of the Lord into this material world. So if Krishna, when he comes before you, when Krishna is coming into the material world, it is called incarnation. If you do not give the right kind of respect that Krishna should get as a supreme personality of Godhead, then it becomes seva aparadha. But where are we qualified to give the right kind of respect to the supreme personality of Godhead? Because we are ignorant. Even the wonderful concept that he is a supreme personality of Godhead itself doesn't strike us. Why it does not strike us? Because our heart is not pure. So then how can we avoid offenses? That is the reason why we offer everything to the spiritual master. And through the spiritual master, he compensates for all shortcomings. And he accepts what is good from us to give us some benefit. And offers that seva that we offer to the deity. So, this is a first and most important element that can save us from seva aparadha to the deity. Always begging forgiveness from spiritual master, humbly making all the offerings through the spiritual master. So in our Archana Paddhati also, we offer everything to Srila Prabhupada and then go up. Knowing very well that the offering is taken by the spiritual master on behalf of the worshipper and delivered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, if we are offering to the spiritual master, then whatever spiritual master has said, Anusarana, strictly follow that and offer. Even if we have no devotion towards the Savior, we should have at least devotion towards the Guru, devotion to his instruction. And slowly the devotion to Savior will awaken, attachment to Savior will awaken. But if we perform aparadha, the very purpose of worship is to awaken our purpose of sadhana bhakti, is to awaken our love for Krishna. It goes in cross purposes if we perform offenses. Therefore, we have to always be careful. It is very natural. Even in this world, you cannot, even in a karmi world, you cannot offend your boss. Your promotion will go, your job will go, your life will become miserable. Is it not? So offense means what? You are not giving somebody their due. This is called offense. Whether it is jiva offense, seva aparadha, nama aparadha, or anything, boss aparadha. The principle is same. What is it? Everybody, Jiva up to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, deserves a certain level of respect in relationship with you. And what is respect? Respect is recognizing the relative to you, recognizing the position, recognizing their right, their freedom, etc. The respect is a very important concept because we are followers of Vaishnava philosophy, personalistic philosophy. Evolution of our soul can be measured by how sensitive we are to other living entities. Including the supreme living entity. That we don't cross the limits. We are extremely careful. We act intelligently, understanding the purpose of relationship with the other living entity or the purpose of relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So without intelligence, without buddhi, one will make offenses. And this buddhi for a neophyte comes from spiritual master. Do this, don't do this. Do this, don't do this. I don't have my own intelligence to determine why I should do this, why I should not do this. One more thing is there. We hurt our own soul also. You offend yourself. We said Jiva Himsa, we said Vaishnava Aparad, we said deity Aparad, Nama Aparad. Your soul is eternal servant of Krishna. Just like I can take a blade and cut myself. I can hurt myself also. I can take a blade and cut somebody else also. So that is aparad, that too aparad. This is also aparad. Because I belong to Krishna. I am Krishna's property. If I abuse myself, then that is also disrespect to my soul. So everywhere buddhi is required. That is why this whole Krishna consciousness process is called buddhi yoga. Without buddhi, you cannot succeed in this yoga. I cannot have proper link with Krishna if I don't have buddhi. And the primary source of buddhi is Guru. That is why without Guru, there is no question of progressing in spiritual life. Because then you will do your own concoction. What is pleasing, what is not pleasing. Sentimental is not enough. You cannot be just sentimental. What Krishna likes, what Krishna does not like. There are standards, because Krishna is real. Moment you think, you devise in your mind what Krishna likes, dislikes. What is the meaning in that? In your mind, Krishna is not a true person. is not a reality. It is called Sahajya. You imagine a Krishna. So that is the Prabhupada is meaning here, that devotees engaged in temple worship should not therefore manufacture their own methods, but should strictly follow the regulatory principles of cleanliness, and then offerings will be accepted. So a Vaishnava is very alert 24 hours. Starting from what he does with his own body and mind. He doesn't short circuit. Or aparadha can also be called as process of short circuiting the original purposes. Electricity is supposed to come to this bulb, and short circuit happens. Bulb doesn't burn. So starting with our own body, our mind, our senses, our intelligence, how to manage them respectfully as a property of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For a devotee, we are saying. For a devotee engaged in devotions, Hishikena, Hishikesha, Sevanam, Bhakti Ruchyate. He distances himself. He respects his own body. He respects his own mind. It is Krishna's property. So without aparadha, I should engage my body, my bodily, mental, intellectual functions. Then other bodies. We should not offend other bodies also. Or the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his incarnations. Nama Aparadha. Because the Lord is manifesting from the transcendental dimension before you to receive seva. That purpose cannot be forgotten. Keeping that purpose in mind. That is why the first round, first mala, Anusarana mala, is meant for bringing our mind to the proper, respectful context of japa. Mind may be aware of so many things you are doing and all those things. Now you are going to worship whom? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. So one thing is mechanically every day after Mangalarti take the start, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. But it is a meaningful activity. Now I am going to worship the Supreme Personality of God at the context. I am the worshipper. The process of worship is as Vidhi Anusara, Vidhivat. Chant and hear that exact sound and uninterruptedly, without thinking, repeat. That's the context. So when the context is there is an activity, a meaningful activity is going on, not some ritualistic activity. Meaningful activity is going on. Bead after bead, the Lord is manifesting from the transcendental dimension, and then He is receiving my seva. When He receives my seva, when I offer my seva, I can feel Him being pleased, because the Guru, Sadhu and Shastra said He is pleased. If I please you grossly, if you smile and if I can see your happiness, then I can accept that you are pleased. But in this case, I need to have Shraddha. Guru, Sadhu, Shastra says each bead, the devotee utters respectfully, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, on the order of the spiritual master. The Lord accepts each bead of our chant. How to become free from offenses? It's common sense. Because I am also a person. God is also a person. Don't do unto others what you would not like to be done unto you. Why should I hurt that devotee? I don't like if somebody hurts me. So I should not hurt. That's not, the devotee is sensitive. But there is a higher purpose. Just like Arjuna, his heart is sensitive of that of a Vaishnava. He said, how can I kill all these people? But at the same time, finally he had to do it because it is the order of the Lord, duty to Supreme Personality of Godhead. So even in this also, sometimes you may say, okay, this is aparadha. Arjuna was thinking, I am going to do Jiva Himsa now, killing so many people. So that is not absolute. Absolute, whole Bhagavad Gita is about a fight, about killing, about violence, about Himsa, not about Ahimsa, about Himsa. So everything has to be backed by proper, what is the ultimate, what pleases the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If Arjuna had said, no, I will not kill Krishna, I feel bad. Krishna is telling, kill. So he has to choose what pleases Krishna. That is due respect. Mayavadis talk nonsense about Krishna. We cannot be sensitive to them. You just have to either argue back or you have to leave the place. Otherwise you are committing offense against Krishna. God is treated like ordinary person. We ordinary persons, we take up bodies, ordinary bodies. Lord's incarnation is as it is, He comes into a material dimension. So, all these aparadhas, actually it's so scientific, and anything you want to achieve, there is a process. If you go off the process, then you don't get the result. And our Krishna consciousness is a realization of my soul, realization of the Supreme Soul. I am a person, God is a person. So the biggest short circuit is when there is personal elements of disrespect, personal elements of taking somebody cheap, God as cheap. I'll take the deity to my bed. I am bathing, so I should also take him to the bathroom and bathe him. It's all possible. Imagination. No guru to guide. So aparadha can be done in both ways. One is not doing what is to be done. Another is doing something which is not to be done. In a relationship. So there are certain things to be done in relationship with Krishna deity worship, certain things not to be done. And our guiding force is always a spiritual master, because We are not mature enough to know the mind of God. God is a real person, Krishna is a real person, Radha Krishna Chandra is a real person standing there for us from the transcendental dimension. So I go by, I don't understand. I only understand ordinary people in this world. I don't understand this tattva called God, Vishnu tattva. His mind is known in his Bhagavad Gita. His mind is known by the acharyas. So if you want to please him, then we'll have to go according to that. So in spiritual life, if you want to make advancement in spiritual life, you have to be very cautious about, we have to be intelligent about avoiding Jiva Himsa, Vaishnava Aparadha, Seva Aparadha, Nama Aparadha, etc. Any questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. In the understanding of a Kanishta Bhakta and a Madhyama Bhakta, one factor is the factor of Shraddha. Now another factor is about the relationship, how the person relates with others. So that is one of the essential differences between Kanishta and Madhyama. So another thing can we understand, as you have mentioned today, the aparadhas. You know, how sensitive is that person to the aparadhas?
So?
Is it right understanding that, along with the faith, faith, Shraddha Bale, he said, between Kanishta, Madhyama and Uttama. So similarly, the way the devotee relates with the world and also avoids the aparadhas is the way we can understand that he is elevating himself from Kanishta to Madhyama.
Can also consider like that. But if somebody is strictly following, devoted to his spiritual master and following his instruction in its proper understanding, then even though he has no realization, even though he has no so much Shraddha in the Supreme Lord awakened, but he has got so much Shraddha in the spiritual master, effectively he can free himself from aparadha. Though he may not be freeing himself by virtue of his realization or his changed perception. When Shraddha develops, then to avoid offenses is very natural. Naturally it comes if your perception is purified. So, like that, for instance, the spiritual master says you should be humble towards everybody. And if the person is thinking, why I and God alone, and then he does not see that very same God is in the heart of other living entities also, then he can, if he does not follow the Guru's instruction of humble behavior, then he can offend. So like that, because of his lack of Shraddha or realization of the Lord, all-pervading Lord in all hearts, he can, according to his own perception, me and my Lord, that's all. I don't care for anybody else. He tends to make offenses. So at every point of time, a neophyte should learn, what did Prabhupada say? Let me follow this. Then later on, out of realization, he will act. Ultimate goal is to act out of realization. See things as they are. See things, everything from as they are means what? As they are meant to be in the eyes of God. Not as they are meant to be as I think. So it is a different kind of, everything should be seen with Shastra Chakshus, the eyes of the scriptures. The scriptures are the mind of the Lord. So you have to see everything from the eyes of the scriptures. When we see everything from the eyes of the scriptures, then we will give everything its due place. A karmi also is due place. A yogi is due place. Bhakta due place. Kami, anybody due place. Because that is arrangement of the Lord. The material world is a world created by the Lord to give a chance for living entities to do what they want according to your different desires. So we do not do concocted things. Oh, Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now I'll go and rob a bank. I need money for Krishna. We don't do that. Because, why we don't do that? Because we respect Krishna himself has allowed people to do their karma, earn their money, keep their money. I cannot steal. So I should preach to them and get the money. That is the purpose. Okay, now you donate, do this activity, do this devotional service. We cannot cheat people and get money. Like that. We have to be careful about concocted ways of devotional service. Any other question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, that one example what you mentioned about the kind of relationship with God, what people have, like you gave the example like you go to take bath and you take God also, that God will also take bath with me. Just wanted to share one incident, like one donor had come to temple, Prabhu. So Indians, but staying in Florida, and they're Indians staying in Florida.
Singing?
Staying in
Staying
Florida.
in Florida.
So they visited our temple, and generally we have seen like North Indians, they carry this Laddu Gopal with them. So they had brought one Laddu Gopal, and I took them for dinner to Krishnamrita Hall. So the table where they were eating, they kept that Laddu Gopal also there. And they mixed the food, and every morsel before they eat, they show to Laddu Gopal and eat. So I was little surprised, and later I asked that how you can feed to God like this. Then they said, Swamiji, this is our Vatsalya Rasa with the Lord. So Lord is like our child, and before we eat, we feed him, and then we eat. So I was feeling like maybe there is some genuine bhakti they have for the Lord. So how we understand this? Because as per our...
First of all, you should see whether they belong to some proper sampradaya. And if the sampradaya acharya, whether those things that they are doing is their concoction or is their sampradaya acharya's regulated directions for them, disciples, that you should keep Laddu Gopal by your side. I have never heard. And then you give him one morsel and show him, then you eat. All these things, just like, in our sampradaya also, something will be there and some concoction will be there and it will become sahajya, right? In every sampradaya, that kind of sahajyaism can come. So there is definitely some sahajya kind of thing. There is a process of worshipping or relating with Krishna in Vatsalya Rasa. But everything, whether Vatsalya Rasa or Sakya Rasa or anything, one should understand at a sadhaka level, he is God first. When one gets completely purified, then he is your only child, not God. Our ultimate goal is to go to Goloka Vrindavan and be an associate in the Vrindavan Leela. At this stage, we don't think like that. We think of Vasudeva Krishna, we think of Bhagavad Gita. He is Supreme Personality of Godhead, cause of all causes. One who showed the Vishwarupa. One who is saying, Aham sarvasya po mata sarvam pravartate. Natro parato anyat. Nobody else greater than me. These are the concept of Krishna consciousness. So first is God consciousness. By God consciousness, we become purified. When we become purified, when the soul becomes purified, then you can think of Krishna as your baby without thinking of him as a God at all. God doesn't come into picture at all. Gopis don't think Krishna is God. Gopas don't think Krishna is God. But that is a very advanced stage. We don't consider, for us, Krishna is God first. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna. Bhagavad Gita, Supreme Father. The source of all jivas, Supreme Father. Aham bija prajapita. So therefore you can conclude that neophytes, such kind of intimacy is mostly sahajya. From the basic principles we can conclude this incident is like sahajya. They may say, no, my guru told me that. Then that guru must be sahajya. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, we heard how deity worship, we have to be very careful, and the deity accepts the service through the guru. So whatever we offer, so deity, first of all, my understanding is that deity comes because of the request of a pure devotee, spiritual master. So we serve the deity through him. So now, let's say, for instance, deities in a temple like Ayodhya Sri Ram Mandir. So now we all, like you also went and you had darshan, and you felt Lord Rama is personally has come. So now, is it significant to ask that who is the guru, or how what is the difference between this, how we are worshipping through guru and how they are doing, what's happening there? Who's the guru there?
No, here the Lord comes. It's a huge phenomena, spiritual phenomena. Unlike our pratishtha. Millions and millions of devotees, their mind is focused and anticipating. And when millions and millions of devotees are there, each of them will have somewhere some connection with some guru of theirs. Correct? So without somewhere touching guru, they cannot get Rama consciousness, this life or previous life or something. So it is not necessary that there has to be one acharya to invoke the Lord. All the devotees' devotion attracts Lord Ramachandra to descend for the whole country. One Rama for the whole country. Isn't it? So all these rules don't work. That is why they say that, as per this Shastra, you have not put the Kumbha, that means your Shikara is not complete, temple is not complete. Without that, Shankaracharya, they made that opinion that it's not complete. Maybe technically right, ritualistically they are right, because they are very ritualistic. But Krishna is beyond rituals. When so much of devotion is there, then that is the biggest power for Pratishtha than the ritualistic part. So Rama is definitely descended. Even other ways in Kali Yuga, all these rituals are full of faults. Isn't it? That's why we say mantrahinam, vidihinam. In the end we ask all these things, even in small homa. Beg for forgiveness. That is the whole world, the whole country, millions of jivas anticipating Rama, Rama, Rama. It's a very big yajna. A very big yajna has happened in this country. Lot of minds are focusing on Rama, 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 Rama. That is why now India will prosper. Once Krishna consciousness or Rama consciousness is there, it will bring all prosperity, all good, everything. Miracles will happen. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।